Now I know why they say New York is for lovers. They love everybody, even those who love people maybe they shouldn't be loving, or at least publicly. Like Elisabeth Spitzer. Remember him? The love gov caught with a prostitute who, more than 4 years after resigning in disgrace, is setting his sights on New York City comptroller and apparently has a very good chance, which means client number 9 could be working with the bulge on the net, Anthony Weiner, who's also got a good shot at this, believe it or not, New York City mayor. And only weeks after another Lazarus-like return from the political dead, when former LoveGov South Carolina's Mark Sanford got himself elected to Congress. Elizabeth Meinecke and Wayne Rogers and Leah Lazou. Elizabeth, a soft spot for sinners? No pun intended?
No, these guys should not be reelected. It really frustrates me how they take advantage of Americans' capacity for forgiveness, because they all sit there and they say, give us a second chance. We're asking for your forgiveness. Well, yeah, I believe in second chances and I believe in forgiving people and rehabilitation, but I just don't think the political arena is the right place for these guys. They're putting themselves in a situation where they have access to the exact same temptations they did before. You have a chance to build your family, rebuild your family outside of the public eye.
But let the people decide that, right? Let the people decide.
Still, I don't think, to say that, oh yeah, you've really recovered or you've really rehabilitated. This is kind of like putting the recovering alcoholic, asking them to bartend. You just don't even want to have them be in that particular situation. I don't think it's wise for anyone involved.
Yeah, or me in charge of your refrigerator. You don't go there. Wayne, what does this mean to you? I always like the flip side. I try to look at the positives, any of this. Anyone who has been entertaining a run for public office but a little skittish about what skeletons they might have in their closet can go ahead and try it. What have they got to lose?
They got nothing to lose, Neil. And as a matter of fact, maybe that's what they should all do. They all have some sort of a sexual event that has occurred in their past, and that makes them eligible for public office. It looks like more of them are doing that than aren't doing that. This is not about forgiveness. This is about America's fascination with celebrity and the fact that these people are nuts, and it makes the voters even look more stupid that they are willing to tolerate it.
But in the case of Governor Sanford, Malia, a Republican in South Carolina, he apologized to the people. He said, I put my mercy on you at the voting polls, and they voted him into Congress. So back to an earlier point I had with the people deciding this, whether they want the rogue in or out. What do you think?
Yeah, for me, the problem is just where are other candidates? Where's the pipeline of new ideas, new candidates, new people running? We end up recycling candidates all the time. And I really like, I really like this idea of maybe having other people who don't have scandals running for office. But I will say though that if we're going to start cutting people, out of being able to do public service because of their cheating. I don't know how many police officers we can still have. Cheating is an American problem, not just a political problem.
But I will say, and maybe Elizabeth, you touched on the outset, it does raise a lot of ethical issues with people, fairly or not, and whether it's puritanic to say that, I guess I'm guilty. But I do think that there's a certain level of extra weirdness to the Weiner thing. The Spitzer thing has its own elements here, but I'm not even going to judge that. I am going to look at what it says about people when they elect people like that to office, and that maybe their expectations are so low or they're so cynical that they're fine with it. What do you say to that?
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to American short attention span. People can't be bothered to pay attention to People's short attention span, right. Exactly. I know we've had this discussion before, but people can't be bothered to pay attention longer than, oh, that guy's name sounds familiar. Oh, he did something bad once. Oh, now he's telling me he's recovered okay, and then they move on. People say they are frustrated with government. Well, maybe it's because they keep electing the exact same people who, put themselves in these situations.
Yeah, that's one thing I think that the ladies hit on brilliantly, and I think it's a problem, Wayne, when we don't go outside the Petri dish and at least look at other dishes here, and that's no sexual slap there. But you know what I'm saying, that we always go to the same types, whether they're present politicians, former politicians, soil politicians, not soil politicians, but it's the same well we go to.
Well, but Neil, you can't, you know, you can't be the moral judge and all of that, because it's up to the people. You're right. The people, the voters themselves. We are allowing too many people to vote. We allow morons in this country to vote. You know, you have to have a driver's license to go buy booze.
Did you say
and
we
to
allow
do things
morons
like
to
that.
vote? You just said we allow morons to vote.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Malia,
And not only that,
we
not
allow
only that.
morons to vote.
Yeah, not only
God
that.
bless
not only that.
America. All right, we've been letting morons to vote when we only let white landowning men vote. So that we have a long history of that. I don't think that you should. I don't think that there should be a reading test to allow you to vote. Judgments like that make me very, very nervous when I think about
the reason you don't think so is because you don't know any better. Of course you need the people. You have all of these other restrictions on people who buy whiskey, who do other things. Why should you not have something on people who vote? Why should you have not have an educational standard?
Let me just say that. I beg your stop. If
I could address.
Elizabeth, do you think that there's anything wrong with electing people with a controversial past? Yes or no?
Well, I think in some of these situations, I do think it does raise some questions. I think the Spitzer situation in particular, it kind of should raise eyebrows.
So that's a yes. All right. Guys, I want to thank you all.
I will say,
We'll continue this tomorrow. That's it for now. Go vote.